Recording.
A very good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to my fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. Being Sergeant at Arms, so I am the first speaker of today's meeting. Toastmasters provides you supportive and learning experience where members are empowered to improve their communication and leadership skills, in which it will help you to increase your personal growth and self-confidence. So I am assured we have some ground rules before we start the meeting. So we are not supposed to talk on sex, religion, and politics. And kindly ensure that you are switch off your mobile, or you can keep it in silent mode, and try to avoid crosstalk during the meeting, and don't walk in and walk out while speaker is speaking. So with this, I would like to call the next role player, that is Presiding Officer. So he is a IT consultant and mindset transformation coach. So he is none other than our Toastmaster Pradeep Shetty. So he'll be taking this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for that lot of energy within you, because energy is very, I'm going to say, contagious. The more energy you have, the more better you feel every single day. Today, I declare the pre-charter meeting open. That is meeting number 8, Nagarbhavi Toastmasters Club. So welcome to this meeting. I do see a lot of guests over here today. I would like to have your introduction. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Kirti San. I'm studying engineering second year.
Kirti San?
Yeah, okay. Like I would like to just give on most speeches on Toastmasters technology stack.
And what is your takeaway? What do you want to take away today from this meeting? What's your expectation?
Like how time is managed, like what are the tips say.
Okay, fine. About the evaluation,
Yeah.
how they evaluate the speeches and everything. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Pushpendra. I'm a software developer at Encompass, which is started in Chennai. And the major takeaway from this session will be how to improve my impromptu skills.
Fantastic. Yes, we do have the impromptu speaking today. Thank you very much. And just for the introduction sake, I will request each members to please introduce yourself so that we come to know about each other, please. Let's start from you, Deepak.
Hello guys, my name is Deepak. I'm 24 years old, born and brought up in Bangalore, and I work in finance. I've been in Toastmasters for the last 2 years, so looking forward to this meeting with you guys.
Hi, my name is Pandirajan. So I'm working in Accenture application development lead. I have been part of Toastmaster around 5 years. So for me, Toastmaster always gives new faces, new positive energy. So today also I can see a couple of new faces. So I want to learn from each and everyone, from each moment and each meeting. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Arvind. I'm a part of Development Services Toastmasters. I've been a Toastmaster for about 6 months now. And for each meeting, in each club, I get to learn something new every day. And also, I get to start my first job tomorrow at Upland.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Akshaya. So I work in Accenture. I am a aerospace design engineer. So the reason why I joined Toastmaster is like I need to improve my self-confidence, and I want to have this better leadership skills as well as communication skills. hope that will meet my requirements.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Ria. I work in Canvas and I work for business analytics domain. I'm here so I meet new people, make friends, and also get really better at storytelling. Thank you for your time on a Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank
Most
you.
welcome.
Hi, my name is Madhu. I'm design analyst by profession. So I'm also aspiring NLP practitioner in coach. Since Toastmaster resonates with communication, confidence, and leadership, I want to empower my skills in that. So that is where I am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So just for the benefits of our guests, I would just like to overall tell you that Toastmasters is an international organization, and it was formed by Dr. Ralph C. Smiley on 22nd of October, 1924, and he started it at St. Anna, California. The main purpose of this Toastmasters is learning about public speaking skills, about communication skills, and also about the leadership skills, which I understand a couple of you would like to learn from it. So the theme for today is how to find happiness. I would say one of my habit, I would say, whenever I achieve something in life, maybe it might be in my work life, it might be in my coaching life or anything like that. The best way, how I celebrate is I don't take my family members to a dinner or something like that. I go ahead and order immediately some ice creams. That is my best way to celebrate. Either whatever the type of it might be, butterscotch or anything. So even the great leaders say, if you want happiness, you need not go to spend a lot of money over there, maybe going for a vacation or spending lakhs together. You can have happiness in small moments. When you cherish happiness in small moments, the same thing you can increase it to a bigger extent, and you can find happiness all over. So thank you very much, not taking most of your time right now. I would like to call upon the Toastmaster for the day, Toastmaster Pandya, who would be the MOC, and he'll be taking over from now. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. So today, October 2, is one of the favorite because it's Mahatma Gandhi birthday. So just I want to remember him whatever because he's one of my role model. So why? Because he's my role model, non-violence movement. So I'm very proud that day actually I'm taking this Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much. So before that, just I want to tell what is Toastmaster of the day. So Toastmaster of the day in the Toastmaster, the person will run that whole meeting. So the person is kind of host actually, who will introduce the speaker and other note taker and fill their section like that. Today is a happiness. What is happiness? Just I want to ask each and everyone. Tell us about what is your happiness. Give me at least one sentence about what you feel about happiness.
Happiness to me is like where you feel peaceful, where you feel comfortable, and it's an absence of stress. And without doubt, it is the most blissful state. It can come from us, it can come from the smallest moments.
Good. From the smallest moment. Yeah. What is your opinion?
Happiness is for me, happiness is like enjoying every moment of life. Like even taking negative, in negative situations, taking positive, this is a kind of happiness which makes me pleasure. Like I enjoy every moment of my life. That's all.
Super.
For me, happiness will be like company of people with whom you enjoy and small moments, large moments, everywhere. But basically, it all also mainly depends on the people with whom you are hanging out, be it friends, be it family. So you can spread out the happiness and all.
Exactly.
For me, happiness is being present, looking at small details, but at a bigger picture.
Nice. For me, I will be happy, or the moment, happiness will be created, like when I wake up early and go for a single solo walk and have a cup of tea. So that is happiness for me.
Nice. me, happiness is eating masala. Please take me. So,
I think happiness is being content with the smallest things that you see around you and recognizing it and being grateful. That's happiness.
I feel it's a mental state. It's nothing related to physical, because today you might get it physical and tomorrow you might not get whatever other things, materialistic things. So happiness is a mental state. The more we are peaceful and happy within, everything on the outside turns automatic. Thank you.
thank you. So for me also it's a very good mix of whatever everyone opinion. Same thing I completely agree. Like what he is telling for masala dosa. So for me, for one chicken shawarma will make me happy. It completely changed. So non-vegetarian please don't offer vegetarians. Yeah. So like actually what he said actually, it's not it's completely people who are around us. It's really give happiness. Like he said actually the moment. Yeah, I really like actually the moment of happiness. I always follow. There is a small example in my life. When I went to Kuwait actually, in my on-site project, that time my wife was carrying that time, but unfortunately, I need to be there in my Kuwait on-site project. Okay, that is a very beautiful apartment, all luxury. You can get for gym, you can for swimming pool. So work also just I need to go. Kuwait clients are there, never worry about deliverable. I need to go for 9 o'clock. I can log off at 3 o'clock. So once I come back, there is so that time itself 4G internet available, everything is available. Gym, you have for internet, you have for swimming pool, everything. But I did not get single happiness. Why? Because as he said, I did not get any good company. Because I live like in a small jail actually. So I did not get any kind of happiness. Once I back in my while I was returning in the airport, in Kuwait airport, very crowded. But at the same time, I met a lot of like-minded people. So they are pulling others, like actually speaking in Hindi. And so that time I feel wow. So I feel like because everybody have same kind of level. Everybody wanted to go back to home. They wanted to meet their loved ones after long back. So when we met each other, when we share our memories, what we are going to do with our family. So it really makes me that happiness. So it's completely happiness. Never give a luxury life you will get for everything. Happiness is completely about as such. So with that, so we can go for the next part of Toastmaster meeting. So typical Toastmaster meeting have for 3 segments. One is prepared speech. Prepared speech is nothing but in the Toastmaster International suggesting the members to for pathway curriculum. So we come for the pathway curriculum. Once you become member, once you need to enroll, based on your expertise, Toastmasters International will suggest you for which pathway suitable for you. So based on pathway, there are a lot of projects that member needs to check that project. They can speak with their mentor. They can I think they need to take for at least 1 or 2 weeks to prepare the speech and they need to deliver. This was prepared speech section. So next table topic is a very important and foremost important in our daily life. I think the table topic master will explain about the purpose of table topic and how it will be helpful for our future. Next, more important. So people always ask me, hey, what is the difference between Toastmaster and English communication courses? So in English, this is the spot actually, general evaluation part. It's really completely different from other places. Our general evaluator and his team will help you to how to you improve. You may have very expert. Sometimes we never know what is our strength. So general evaluator and his team will suggest, okay, what is your strength? What you could be improve yours again. Next speech and next meeting. Not only speech, each and every role they will evaluate. So for that, now time to call general evaluator of the meeting. So this person actually I know him for last 6 months. He's a very energetic youngster. So he can do whatever we are giving. He's a very good achiever. Currently, he is part of Republic of Toastmasters Club, one of the vibrant club in District 121 in Bangalore. So he is the club mentor for this club. So he is going to help this club for next 6 months to 1 year. So now Toastmaster Demon to proceed with general evaluation. Before that, I just want to question for you. Sure. So it is related to today's theme only. You already answered what is happiness, but tell me very latest, at least 1 or 2 weeks back, what makes you very happy? You should not take too much of it. Suddenly, what makes you happy?
So the last couple of weeks, something that has made me really happy is the fact that a couple of my friends who are very close to me, who have gone abroad to study, have come back after 2.5 years, and these people are my best friends who live right next to my house. People whom I've spent pretty much all of my teenage years with. So I'm just happy to have them back and hopefully go out, create more memories, spend more time with them. That's good. Over to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Pandirajan. And before I get started with anything, I'd like to apologize to everyone for making you guys wait and being so late. So as that is out of the way, I would like to explain to all the Toastmasters and our guests here about my role today. So being a general evaluator is something very critical to a Toastmasters meeting, because Toastmasters is all about a journey about self-improvement. And you cannot improve on yourself until unless there is some sort of criticism that helps you guide yourself throughout the entire journey. And now, when it comes to Toastmasters and when we think about the kind of improvements that need to be made, there are 3 special parameters which we measure or gauge somebody's speech or the way they speak on stage. So to do that, there are 3 role takers that will assist me by giving out specific details on certain metrics that will really help everyone improve on their speeches. So very first person that I have to take this up will be the timer. So
Ria.
Yes, Ria, I'm so sorry. So Ria, if you can please come up here, take 20 seconds to explain your role so that everybody knows, that would be great. Please get up to get Ria.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Ria and I will be clearly playing the role of the timer. So timing is one of the important aspects when we deliver a speech, and Toastmasters clearly help us in time our speech and deliver it. So as a timer, I'll be responsible to time all your speech from prepared speech to table topic and evaluation. So that being said, that those are the 3 segments of today's meeting. So the prepared speech will be for 5 to 7 minutes, table topic will be for 1 to 2 minutes, and evaluation will be for 2 to 3 minutes. So the first color that I'll be showing will be yellow. That will be for prepared speech, it will be for 5 minutes. And when I show green, it is for 6 minutes. And when I show red, it is 7 minutes. And
Green first, then yellow, and then.
Okay.
That's fine, that's good.
Okay, so green, yellow, and red. Okay. So it goes like 5, 6, and 7, and 30 seconds of space period will be given. And for table topic, it is 1 minute for green, 1.5 for yellow, and 2 minutes for red, 30 seconds of space period. So speech evaluation will be for 2 to 3 minutes, which is 2 minutes for green, 2.5 for yellow, and red will be for 3, where 30 seconds will be for the grace period. So you can wrap up the evaluation. So back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now that we have one important aspect of our speeches, that is time, to make sure that you are able to say whatever you have to say in a quick, concise way, so that nobody has to come here and keep speaking for 20, 30 minutes. That time nobody wants to come to Toastmasters. So with the time limits that we have, it is a challenge that is set to each and every speaker to speak about a topic within that particular time. So there's so much effort that goes into it. You've got to have the right number of words, you've got to practice at home so that you're well within time. So one great aspect of speeches, timing, which is covered by our timer here today. Next thing is about something that we generally call as crutch words. And to explain about that, we'll have our second role taker, that is Toastmaster Ashok, who's our counter to come and explain.
I'll be playing an accountant role. the role of this accountant is, I will make note of the filler words or the correct words. So the words are like basically so, and the repetitive words like and. So these words I will make note of it. So try to minimize these words, and best of luck for your speeches. Thank you.
Now that we have two important aspects, like Master Ashok said, the second one is crutch words. So that when you are speaking, what you are concentrating on more is the number of the words that actually come out of your mouth. You do not stall in between and think about it, saying, what is the next part? This is something what happens very commonly to all of us, because when we're starting a sentence, we immediately start speaking, and at the same time, our mind is thinking as well. So because of that buffer, we started saying, my name is, right? So to reduce those kind of words and to make our speech flow seamlessly is why we have the accountant's role to understand where everybody is starting and how to perform that. The very last role, which again conveys a very important metric to all of us in terms of evaluation, is grammar. So to give out a proper evaluation on grammar, we have Toastmaster Pradeep.
Hello all, I'll be the grammarian for today. And the grammarian's role is I'll be listening to each and every speaker delivering the speeches or maybe doing the table topic. I'll be having a close attention on the good usages and even the wrong usages of words. The word for today is sporadic. Let me spell it out. S-P-O-R-A-D-I-C, sporadic. It means occasionally, irregularly, or randomly. I would like to cite an example. The team regular meeting became sporadic over the summer months when at some point of time, half of the members were on vacation. The team regular meeting became sporadic over the summer months when at some point of time, half of the members were on vacation. So I request each one of you to use this word, and whenever any member uses this word, just show the thumbs up. So it will be a motivation, and even anybody uses the word, so the grammarian can also make a note of it, how many have used these words. And also I'll be coming up later whenever the general evaluator will be calling me at the end of the session, so that I can present my report to all of you. Thank you very much and all the best. Thank you.
Now that we know about all three roles that will be supporting the evaluation, what I want everybody to understand is that at first it might seem pointless. I know the guests are thinking, why you have to take time? Why you have to sit and write down all these crutch words? Why is there a grammarian? Why do we do this every time? See, improvement is something that cannot be done sporadically, right? It is something that can be achieved with consistency over time. So every single meeting that you come here, every single time you listen to the metrics on how you lost time, how you could have made up time, how you could have reduced some crutch words, where your grammar was wrong, and how you can improve it. This being done consistently every week at a Toastmasters meeting, you may not see the results in 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's going to take about 6 months or a year, consistently showing up here and showing the way to improve. And then is when you'll really know that you have improved as a public speaker. So now that we have these quantitative elements to a speech in terms of time, number of crutch words, and grammar to help improve the quality of your speech, what my job is today is to come back later with a qualitative assessment as well that tells you about the general feel of the entire meeting, what speakers could have done better to help have the meeting conducted better, right? So this is an evaluation that I will be providing at the end with the help of my tag team, and I will be back on stage soon with a complete evaluation. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, guys. Give big round of applause to all general evaluator and his team. Before start to next segment, just I want to tell small happiness in the Toastmaster. One of that prepared speech. There is a one prepared speech, research and present. I put lot of effort about that one. I was met my mentor. Plus, I had a lot of Google's research and everything. Unfortunately, the day doing you do some network lectures, yeah, I was feel very bad because I did not win actually best speaker. But I feel very bad actually. But very next meeting, one person came actually again as a guest. So she mentioned last week I came actually. So the Pandirajan's about the blood donation speech was very insightful, very helpful. It makes me to come back again. So it's really gives me the very happiness. Wow, I was influenced someone to come back. It's really helps others. So this is a small happiness. But personally, I feel okay. It's really helped me to go further, move in my life. So thank you very much. So I think as we just let's move on for our next segment. So for that, I will call speaker. Before that, I will call our speech evaluator, Viman, to express speech objective.
Right, guys. So today I'm going to be a speech evaluator as well. Usually it's not me itself who takes up the role. There are different evaluators who come for each speaker. But since we are all starting off and we are doing multiple roles to keep the ball rolling here at Nagarbhavi Toastmasters, my target speaker for today is Toastmaster Arvind, who's attempting his level. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir.
Toastmaster Madhu.
Yeah, Toastmaster Madhu is our speaker today, who is attempting his L3P1, that's level 3 project 1, and or L1P, that's level 1 project 3. Level 1 project 3. Right. So initially, if I had seen what sir had shown me, I would have been confident. I got overconfident, so I said L3P1. Sorry about that. Yeah, L1P3 is Toastmaster Madhu's project for today, and the objective of this project is to practice vocal variety and body language and apply it in a speech. So excited to see what sir is going to do. Toastmaster Madhu, all the very best to you, and back to you.
Thank you. The beauty of Toastmaster. So whenever somebody is not feel well, somebody unfortunately in whole world is running a lot of unfortunate. So since this week, I think we have started to take role taker. There are a couple of people are unwanted because unexpectedly they wanted to make it actually. Like one person, TMOD got some emergency. So TTM was she was not feel well. She was telling. She told actually mentally I'm in Nagarbhavi, but I was unable to make it. So whatever happened, I think there are a couple of folks actually. Okay, no problem. So we are ready to cover. So thank you very much even for final minutes to come forward. So yeah, for that now I'm going to call our first speaker, one and only speaker. About him, I know him for past 1 month, but he is one of the pillar actually is Nagarbhavi Toastmasters Club. So these people are really give me some confidence and some thing actually. I think Nagarbhavi, we are here, so we will make it Nagarbhavi strong, and he always ready to take any role. Okay, Pandya, please tell me what role I want to take this week. Tell me what are the role I will ready to take that. So for that, actually, I will call actually as a professional. He is also coach, NLP coach. So he's part of other club also. So now I call Toastmaster Madhu for delivering his speech. Madhu, life lesson. So life lesson.
Once upon a time, there was a small village, and there was a thief. He was very professional. He was ethical, and he had all his rules, and he was notorious across his area. And he was so good, he was never caught in his lifetime. But the days were passing. He was going into the burglary sporadically, and he was worried about his family. How does he take care?
I'm getting old. How do I make sure that my family is taken care? Of course, he had a son. He was a younger son, but he was very naive. He was not knowing the tricks of the trade. He used to make a foolish mistakes. So one day, the son asked, "Father, why are you worried? Is there anything I can do to help you?" Then father said, "Son, I think you are not ready. That worries me." Then the son said, "Why don't you teach me? I am eager to learn." Then father said, "Let me think about it." One fine day, the father said, "Let's go today. Let's be ready. I'll take you out to the field." Son was excited. He thought, the moment has come. I am ready. I can replace my father. So the time came, they went out to the nearest village where a rich landlord was there. The father broke into the house very technically and without making a pin drop silence. They entered. They saw a huge life-size wooden box. Father told, why don't you look into the chest and see what is there inside? Son just got into the wooden chest. Suddenly, there was a lid was closed, and the lid was locked from the outside. Father ran out of the door and escaping, screaming, "Thief! Thief!" Son was shaking, shivering. Why would my father do this? My own father, he made me in a difficult situation. Then, after some time, he thought, if I am here, how do I get out? Then all the family members were searching. Where did the noise came from? Suddenly, he got an idea. He thought he will make a sound of a rat biting with claws, like making a sound, so that somebody would open the lid. He made some sound. The owner of the house came and opened the lid. He pushed the owner of the house and ran out of the house. Though people chased him, he made a distraction and climbed a tree, waited for the whole line to pass, and went home. He was very angry. And his father was sitting in the chair laughing. And he asked, why would you do such a task? And I was about to be killed if I was caught. Then father told, look, son, there are certain lessons you need to learn very hard way. It cannot be taught by the words. I hope the experience will only teach you what you need to learn. Now you are ready for the first level. You thought on the spot how to get out of there. And you know how to look behind who is doing what. You have to watch your back and you should think smart when you are in such situation. So that is the message that this story carries. Let me tell you, some mentors will come into your life. They will teach you a different way that is not learned by any books. It cannot be learned by just self-learning. If you find such mentors, it is your lucky break. And some other lessons of life can only be learned by experience. Thank you so much.
Sorry, just one interview. You already shared about what is happiness. Just tell me, actually, don't take more than 2 seconds. What makes you happiness last? only. Recently, what makes you happiness? Some incident or something?
Knowing that I am breaking free whatever limitations I had earlier, and I am coming out of that. That is what I think.
Nice. Thank you for sharing, sir. Let's give each other He's a very good storyteller. I think his evaluator will tell more about that experience. Yeah. So with that, I think we can move on the next segment of the Toastmaster meeting. So which I said for table topic is one of the very interesting and very useful in our daily life. I think table topic master will tell more about the system. For that, I will introduce a person. See, nowadays in football, cricket, which I follow a lot actually, all legend, they will always ask actually, if you are pick, what is your best 11? So if somebody asking what is your best 4 or 5 people, definitely this person will be there in the Toastmaster and in my friends also. So I know him for last 6-7 months. But the bonding is like more than 7-10 years. So more than that, nowadays I was started to learn Kannada because of him and his brother. So we used to start to speak Kannada. I used to fully like using Kannada because my daughter also now she wants to learn Kannada more than Hindi. So I used to get some words from this guy and his brother. So more than that, actually. Currently he is wearing a lot of shoes actually. He has a lot of hats in so he is going to join a new company tomorrow. More than that, so he is a area director, not India. He's in California in USA. So he is remotely helping across the world. So for that now I will call table topic master, Toastmaster Arvind. Right to before that I say this thing. It should not take more than 2 seconds. Is recently what makes you happy?
That I got into my first job. But I had my interview and
meeting is a very good happiness. Especially in India, that middle class and the youngster getting the first job, it's always amazing. I feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to walk my own. Thank you very much for sharing your happiness.
so now, chances I get to do topics master is sporadic, but I do enjoy this role a lot because this is one role where the audience becomes a participant and I become the audience. There's not much for me to do. Table topics was started to hone your impromptu speaking skills. There are a lot of times where suddenly we are, we're called upon to speak immediately. Maybe it's an informal occasion, maybe a formal occasion. The reason Toastmasters was started in the first place is because people were not comfortable giving toasts. Because when you give a toast, you have to give a speech. And often these are impromptu. People just say, give a toast to someone, and you have to speak. And you don't know what to say. And you are shook, you stand and you freeze. But then with this session, with table topics, you really learn by doing it on and on and on. When you are called on spot, you have something to say. Now for this table topic session, our theme is happiness. Now I have 2 options for anyone who comes on stage. Either I will give you a quote and you can speak on the quote, or I will give you a question and you can speak on the question. Now with that, who wants to volunteer? Okay, come on. Do you want to start with the quote or with the question? Okay. What is the happiest day of your life? What is the happiest day of your life?
Hello everyone. So the question is, what is the happiest day of my life? So if I say that exactly is the day when I got my first job. Exactly. Like our Toastmaster Arvind said that he is excited about his first job. It was 25th of December 2020 when I got an internship, got a call from the HR from a current company that they said that you have passed the assessment and you scored the topmost score in the assessment and you'll be joining their team. So for me, that was one of the happiest day, and it was really exciting to be when you see that all the efforts and after all the patience, after all the failures. Before that, I had around several interviews and all. I failed so much, and also I got disappointed, and still I had to maintain the rhythm and the momentum to continue in that. But after getting that success, that particular success, I was really happy. That just went out and told my father that, Father, I got the job. Well, my happiness, if I say my happiness was on level 5, this happiness was on level 100. Typical Indian family. So that was, and after seeing my parents, that they was really happy. That made my day. So, thank you.
So, honestly, when I got this job, I don't know how many people I went and told. My friends, my neighbors, my friends, my neighbors, everyone I ended up telling. Oh, who wants to come next? You want to go? I will take it. Okay. Okay. You want to vote or?
Okay, I can vote.
Okay, I'll give you a vote.
Yeah, you may vote.
The purpose of our lives is to be happy. The purpose of our lives is to be happy.
So last week, I happened to see a funeral of a friend I hadn't spoken in years, but he's a friend. And I was there, I didn't know if I would visit, I didn't know if I would go to the crematorium or even his house, but I did. And he always used to say one thing, and that is to live happy. And I would always be in this puzzle. What do you mean by live happy? And like I earlier mentioned, I like to live in the present. That is the most precious gift we all have. And until the last breath that he had taken, he lived in the present. And that's when I truly understood that time is your happiness. And time plays very important role in all our life. Some of us know how to value it, some of us are learning how to value it, and some of us are pros. And I think that is the purest form of happiness. And I will conclude by that. Thank you.
Definitely, time is the most valuable thing, and we should all be happy with the time that we have. Now, who wants to come next on stage? You want to go? What was one decision that brought happiness into your life? What was one decision that brought happiness into your life?
The one decision that brought happiness to my life is choosing the way which I want to lead it, the path which I wanted. Like my parents left like others, like they'll be other parents, like they'll be saying like do this, do that. But my parents let me take this, like choose your own career, choose your own path, that makes you happy. So I feel so proud, like okay, I'm choosing my own path as correct thing, and that makes me happy. Like okay, I'm choosing the right decision, and I'm just asking a decision for them, like whether I'm doing correct or not. So they just give me a feedback for that, like okay, this is the advantages we're going to get from these things. So that is the main thing which I was being happy by choosing my own path, and self-learning is like fine. So that is it.
True, definitely. Often when we are forced into a path which we don't choose, we are always, in this mindset that, okay, I'm trapped now, I have to do this only, I wanted to do something else. But when you are allowed to choose what you want to do, you are truly free. You really think about what you want to do. You are really happy. You know, the things you want to do. With that, who wants to come next?
Give me a question. Oh, everybody's taking a question. I think.
Happiness is by choice, not by chance. Happiness is by choice, not by chance.
I think this is a fantastic quote that not only dwells into thinking about just happiness being a choice or a chance. You see, I have a very strong philosophy to life. I mean, I'm not an old monk or someone, old monk who is someone to give out, a lot of advice, who has reached a lot of enlightenment. I'm not like one of those people who give you so much insight about something. But on whatever I have understood throughout life until now, whatever it has taught me is that if you keep believing that there is something that can happen possibly by chance, you're always going to keep thinking that it might happen. There's never a big possibility of it happening. You see, no matter what you do, there is always a choice. It may not be a conscious one. Most of the time, it's definitely very subconscious, but there is always a choice for you to make things happen. And in that same way, you can always wake up and choose to be happy. You can either choose to be happy by focusing on the little things that you have, things that you're grateful for, or you can choose to focus on other things that make you feel like, oh no, my life feels like crap right now. That is something which will definitely drag you down into the deepness of unhappiness. So my philosophy, my theory, my 2 cents of advice to everyone is very similar to it. When you can choose happiness and when you can actively do it, go ahead, choose it. Why are you so scared? That's it.
So who wants to come next? What is the one meal that makes you the happiest? What is the one meal that makes you the happiest?
Wow.
I think many of you don't know that meal, but I will try to describe that meal. Since I belong to north part of Karnataka, even we see that here also. I don't see many people cook that one. We call it in Kannada it as Pundi Palya. So, yeah, anybody has Pundi Palya? Oh, good, very good. That is my favorite food. Whenever I have that food, that makes me exciting and interesting day. I enjoy that food. So, especially that if that is cooked by my mother, that makes me very happy. Even like we have all facilities in my village, I try to prefer the food like normal, what we say, wood and this one, but that will be very tasty. So that is the one food I have. Thank you.
Please bring.
I have already said my favorite food is masala dosa, but truly it's food. Often when we are at the lowest of our times in our life, it's all it takes is one meal that distracts us from all our problems, that we just enjoy and we get to relax from away from all the problems and all the confusions of life. So who wants to go next?
Question.
What's your happiest travel experience? What is your happiest travel experience?
2020, 26th of February, that was the first international travel to Dubai. And that too, my dear friends, it was in Emirates. Emirates, I was almost visualizing in my Mumbai small 1 BHK flat. Whenever I used to sleep, I put a small cutout over there with Emirates Islands. gone through the YouTube, one of my favorite, Sam, who is a YouTuber, and he creates only on airlines. Because by 30th of June 2030, I want to buy a 12-seater ER 650 chartered plane, my dear friends. I declared here, I declared several places, and I'm going to do it. And I got into Emirates, the food, my God, superb. I was just excited. And you know, the air hostess, she was sweet, she was nice. And the ambience, that soft music, everything was fantastic. There were Arabs, the Arabis, and foreigners, everybody. We were a group of around 50 people around. We had been for a conference from one of the Primex Academy from Bangalore. I got an opportunity, and it was not only going, but it was also coming back to Bangalore, to Chennai, then Chennai to this place. So that was my best experience, I would say, which I had my international travel. Thank you. Over to you.
Listening to that, I felt like I was in there. Is to let go. The key of happiness is to let go.
This is an amazing thing. It resonates with my recent experiences. So, the longer that we hold on to things, it creates. Somebody gave an example. Like if you, as if you hold something, a hot object, the longer you hold, the more pain it causes. The best way is to let it pass and learn that, okay, this is what I had to learn from this experience. This was a passing experience. This is the lesson. What I could take it to the next future. And that moment gives you a bliss. And it is amazing when you let go and forgive. And that would be incredible. And it is like sometimes we hold on to it, like thinking, okay, this could have been done like this, or maybe situation could have been something different. But the beauty is when you let go, the bliss you get is somewhat extraordinary. And I feel letting go is also an art. You have to learn it. And that gives you the best lessons of life. Thank you so much.
Truly, often what we end up doing is that whenever something happens with our life and when we have a bad experience, we hold that pain for years together, saying something happened, my life is bad, my life is bad. But what we forget and what we don't realize is that throughout our life, there is always a new experience coming our way. And if we hold on to whatever went wrong in the past, we don't make room for whatever new is about to come. That you have happened for the Yes, of course. Yes. Do you want to vote or you want to question that? What? Question, I want question. Question. Okay. Who is one person who brought happiness into your life? Who is one person who brought happiness?
We are recording.
Hi, good morning still. Good morning to all.
One.
Who gives happiness in my life? That person born in 1986, February 10. Okay, that person born and brought up in that small city in Tamil Nadu. So he crossed all obstacles. People are pulling his leg because of his physical appearance, the way he speaks language. People always underestimate him. Okay, yeah, okay, so good, suitable for only for business. Go there at grocery shop. You will be happy. Continue this your family business. That person afterwards, unexpectedly, he is here and is speaking with the old African. That thing is not here. I don't want any specific name. That's why I was putting myself. So who is giving happiness? Myself. Who I am telling. Whenever I feel bad, I just think about my past. Whatever I think, my nostalgic moment in my life, in my college days, how other people pulling my leg. So how I was taking that as an advantage and I make impact, made them happy. So I just think about that moment in my life. It always gives happy. Oh my God, yeah, 10 years back we had like that, but now I am better. It always gives happy. At the same time, yeah, I think after 10 years, definitely I will think about this meeting. How I can pull myself. Yeah, definitely. So that is really bring me happy. None other than Pandya.
From the speech, something I truly realize is that our greatest motivation and our greatest source of happiness is the journey we've made throughout our life. Whatever we become throughout our life is enough to drive ourselves throughout the rest of our lives. You know, with this we come to the end of the table topic session, and what I'm sure each and every one of us in the audience, including myself, realize is that there is not one or two paths to happiness. There are many paths. You know, when you get a first job, you know, when you value your time, when you value your moments, you know, when you are allowed to choose your own path, when you choose your own perspective of looking at the positives rather than looking at the negatives, when you have your favorite meal, when you go on an international trip, when you let go of all the negativity or the pain that you endured in your life, and when you believe in oneself and believe in your own journey. With that, I want to end my table topic session. Back to the table.
So it's not about here please start with it. We have one contact today. Because table topic master always holding other. So now we have to take. So I will give one topic for this.
Okay.
Very simple. You are always my person. I'll ask one question. Lot can happen over the smell. Lot can happen over the smell.
So, when I was in my college, you know, one person I used to be scared of was my HOD. So, because whenever I used to appear in front of him, he used to catch me. He used to ask, where is your ID card? What is your attendance? What is your internal marks? And I used to be scared because I lost my ID card in my first semester. My internal marks card is as empty as my grandfather said. I don't know what to say. So I used to run away from him. But there was one maths lecturer who was my favorite. Whenever, you know, I used to see him, he used to smile, he used to ask, how are you doing, how is the studies going? No, but now when I look back, what I realize is that both of these people used to ask me the same. So he also wanted to know how my studies was going. My maths lecturer also wanted to know how my studies was going. The difference was when the maths lecturer asked me that, he used to smile. He smiled at me and asked me, and that itself felt better. Whereas my HOD had a complaint. And that experience taught me that smiling can change the response you would get to something you do. Smiling would make someone feel better. So the next time you meet someone, you smile. And the next time you greet someone, you smile. Because that in itself will make all the difference. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Arvind. I think it's a wonderful session. I hope everybody enjoyed this session. So I think what I really like this table topic session is a room full of insights, lot of insights. Arvind said, so got rid of from how emotions she connected with the friend actually. So what she learned from that friend. So from him actually, that his experience, from his true feelings actually, I really understand the emotion. Each and every youngster when they got first job, that emotion I found. Yeah, that is a dream. When I was in Kuwait, so we have fight to book that Emirates ticket because Emirates tickets always packing 10,000 different from etiquette, but the company has to put for etiquette. But we have some proud actually. I am coming to experience. I can understand that happiness from Demon actually from the codate. So I got good insight because a lot of people are done, but from Demon actually I got some monk story. That is not my cup of. That is not my cup of. So from Madhu as usual. Yeah, it's a great insight. Thank you very much for giving the wonderful topic. So it means lot of learning from your session. So before that, I think as a DMOD, I wanted to tell something I completely missed about Toastmaster. I forgot to tell about Toastmaster. About Toastmaster, how the word toast is coming. Anybody have an idea? How the word toast is coming? Except Demon, anybody? How the Toastmaster, the word toast, it comes from the word.
From the word toast, like toast and speech.
Yes. Anybody want to attempt or how this comes? The Toastmaster, the name. Okay, I will try. In the Christian wedding in foreign, there is a culture, a tradition. They will toast. Toast means nothing but so they will speak about bride and groom. About friends, very close friends, they will tell about yeah, this is a very nasty community, but like they will tell, yeah, this guy is like that. And, yeah, they will you after toast they will give so happy married life. Okay, so when Rob is memory actually when he wanted to start Toastmaster Club. The purpose of starting Toastmaster Club, he found his colleague and his subordinates wanted to improve their communication at the same time leadership, at the same time how they wanted to work as a group actually. So that time only we started Toastmaster Club. So purpose of Toastmaster Club not only improve the communication, at the same time your leadership journey. Leadership journey is nothing but if you start new club, you maybe take president and vice president of membership, VPPR. So each and every role will help the club grow. At the same time, as a person, you will also improve your leadership journey. Also, as a person, if you are in company, you need to work as a team. You can't be an individual contributor. Is Toastmaster also when you are in take the committee member, you need to listen to your president. President needs to listen all 7 officers what they are. So it really helps their personal life also. The whole purpose of organization mentally started the club. Now this Toastmaster Club available across 147 countries. So now Nagarbhavi also very soon we will start. So that's all about Toastmaster. Let's move on next segment, final segment, general evaluation and speech evaluation. For that I call Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pandirajan, for having me back here on stage. So usually what happens through a general evaluator's address is that I start off by giving a basic overview of what could have gone better in the meeting, and we call on stage a few other speech evaluators that we have. So since today that is not there, very first thing is I would like to start with my evaluation for Toastmaster Madhu's speech. And post that, I will be giving out a general feedback for the entire meeting itself. Okay. So Toastmaster Madhu, what I believe is that number one, the topic and the title that you chose for your speech was absolutely appropriate. It was something that could definitely resonate with the kind of content that you had for your speech itself. Life lessons, simple, short, and concise. And the story that you have chosen is something which I believe really complements your personality. It is something that we know that somebody here is giving us advice about being very insightful, someone who feels so wise, giving us a nice story. So we are more intrigued to listen. So those are things that worked out very well in your strength that you have chosen to present this particular topic. So great job done on that.
Push the door.
So that is something which was very well done. I believe that the way that you have chosen a story and also ended it by giving us a small takeaway from that story itself is something which really made the entire speech amazing. What I believe that you can improve on the next time is, since we are here and we are trying to implement a project where we are speaking about body language and voice modulation. What I could notice throughout the speech is that your vision was extremely concentrated more towards the right side of the audience. So in that way, you can also follow a particular structure where you look to the audience in a rectangular shape. You first start from this corner, there, to the other corner, here, and back here. So that way, there's a very even amount of focus that you are generating, and you are giving the entire audience equal amount of attention. That is one thing. And the second thing is that while I believe that there were quite a few instances where you modulated your voice to really suit the story, there could have been a bigger emphasis on it to make it much better. Something simple like the son walked slowly towards the box and he sat inside, and immediately his father shut it and he ran outside saying, "Thief, thief!" Right? So that is a much better emphasis that you can try incorporating in your speech the next time. And as for the body language, I believe that while your hands were free flowing most of the time, there was of course an instance where it would come back to this clasped position. So being a little more relaxed and being okay with having your hands by the side, using the stage a little bit more when you are narrating different characters of your story. So standing here while talking about what the son is saying, and moving here and talking in a different modulated voice to resonate with what the father is saying, is something that would have added a lot of dramatism to the speech. So all in all, fantastic job done, great story, great insight, great advice. And I really hope that this is something which will propel you for all better endeavors with your future speeches. So let's have a huge round of applause. So now that the speech evaluation is done, we will start with the general evaluation of the day. So every general evaluator starts his address with very first thing, no matter what it is, meeting started on time. Right? And today, unfortunately, that is not possible because of me. So again, humble apologies. And for the benefit of my guests, what usually happens is that once we have more people joining in, right? Once we have a good amount of people in the club, there are always backups set up in case somebody is going to back out of our own. So immediately that person can start at that time. So the more and more you guys are here to participate, and the more quicker you are to come and join us, we will be able to implement these things in a much better way so that these kind of hiccups can never happen. Right? So that is one thing. So let's get started with the very first part of the meeting. That was Toastmaster Ashok with the SAS address. I believe, sir, you did a fantastic job. You were able to give out all the guidelines that are necessary for a Toastmasters meeting, right? That was a job well done. What I feel like you could improve on the next time when you are here giving the SAS address is, I believe there is a small amount of nervousness that is associated with it because you're the first speaker, right? You are supposed to be the person who is going to grab everyone's attention out of nowhere and start the meeting. So the pressure of that can be really high. So what you can try is having a little bit more of audience-centric interactions. That way, you know that the entire crowd is settled and they are set up for the next person to come. And there were a couple of points that I believe you missed out during the guidelines. Number one is making sure that the stage at a Toastmasters meeting is never empty. So when somebody is coming on to speak, you wait for them, you shake their hand, and only when there is somebody here on stage is when it breaks it. And the second thing, of course, something which we would very staunchly like to follow is a round of applause every time a speaker enters and exits the stage. Now, all of this sounds like some huge procedure. Like guests are thinking most that we have to write all this down. Next time we have to follow this. It's not something like that. There are very simple reasons behind why everything is done. Number one is, of course, when you say do not engage in crosstalk, do not check your phone, keep it on silent, it's because the speaker will get distracted. When we say that you're not supposed to speak about sex, religion, or politics. So this is a very sensitive issue, and I want to make it very clear that Toastmasters is an open stage. You are free to talk about whatever it is that you want. The only reason we have this small restriction is because in India, there are people from different faiths and we are very likely to get offended very quickly. So if you want to speak about something that might be sensitive, please do so after having reviewed it multiple number of times and make sure that whatever words you are saying does not offend anyone. So that is the simple reason behind it. And when you are giving out these kind of guidelines to Toastmasters show, you can always explain it to the audience as well. So it's not like something that we are just following for no reason. We know why we are doing it, what is going to happen. And if there's applause every single time speaker is entering or leaving, of course it is to encourage someone. So this is the whole vibe and the reason why we do these things at a Toastmasters meeting. So moving ahead next to the presiding officer's address, Toastmaster Pradeep, I believe you brought on a fantastic, wave of energy onto the stage itself that really helped getting the meeting going. So one point of feedback that I have for you is something which is very common to what I believe Toastmaster Pandirajan also could do. So I would like to club those two things together. So moving on to what Toastmaster Pandirajan did, I think the theme was set beautifully. It was about happiness. You have to make everyone, really think back, give their own sort of insights, give their own sort of 2 cents, talk about their philosophies. So beautiful opportunity that you have presented with us. The entire meeting flowed very seamlessly. There were good shifts from each segment to the other. However, a couple of things that can be kept in mind for the next time is that Toastmaster Pandirajan, you missed out on telling our guests and our Toastmasters about the structure of a meeting, telling them about prepared speeches are, and then telling them about what exactly table topics is going to be, and then talking about how evaluation is going. So because when we had Ria come up here and talk about 3 different things, when there are so many different timings set for all of them, it could be a little confusing for people to understand. So giving that out would have been really helpful. And the second thing is introducing your speakers, the people who come after you. And this is something I believe Toastmaster Pradeep also could have done with his role today, which is when you are introducing a speaker, the person who is coming on stage next, when you give a more general sort of introduction saying, I have known this person for 6 months, he's a really great. That is a very heartfelt introduction. And the thing is, it makes only the person who is being introduced feel. Right? The reason why we do creative introductions is so that everybody at the Toastmasters Club gets to know each other. Now, when the theme is happiness, I really was happy about the fact that you had questions to ask people here on stage. But when a speaker is given time before a speech or after a speech to speak about their own experience or something, it sort of throws the flow of the meeting away. So as the TMOD, it would be a lot better if you yourself, speak to people, get their introductions, and when they're coming out here, you tell them about. So that is something which I think both Toastmaster Pradeep and user Toastmaster Pandirajan could have followed for the next time. So that will be really great. And so once all of this is said, I think it's time for us to also hear from our tag team. We can hear from our timer, Toastmaster Ria, about the report for today, please.
So I present my timer report to you all. For the prepared speech, Madhu took 5 minutes 24 seconds. For table topics, Pushpendra took 1 minute 24 seconds. Ria, that is me, I took 1 minute 24 seconds. Deeman took 1 minute 44 seconds. Ashok took 1 minute 3 seconds. Pradeep has taken 1 minute 16 seconds. Madhu took 1 minute 12 seconds. Pandirajan took 1 minute 55 seconds. Arvind has taken 1 minute 7 seconds. And I didn't get your name. Kirti Sen, right? Yeah, you have taken 49 seconds. And for general evaluation of the prepared speech, Deeman has taken 3 minutes 40 seconds.
Now that we've had the timers report, Ria, what I feel can be done better the next time is that generally we avoid giving out the timings for each and everyone's speech or table topics. The things that we are more focused towards is about the fact of whether we've had disqualifications in terms of speeches. So what you can do the next time to make this role even more interesting is the timing, the exact number is something which can be shared on our group for reference. Because right now, when you tell me that I took 3 minutes 14 seconds, that's the only thing I'm worried about throughout when you're speaking, right? Because all of us will think, hey, why do you have to listen to other people? next time. Mine is enough. So that is something which is generally what that's human tendency. So I believe that putting this up on the group in a detailed way can be really helpful. So the role itself can be made better by you giving out advice on how to keep your time in speech, how to keep your time limits within a speech, right? So that is something which will add a lot of value the next time. So with that, let's move ahead to the outcomes report. Toastmaster Ashok, please.
So during my observation, so I did not see used in the meetings. Like Arvind has not used and Ria has not used and Karim. So overall, I have the observations like small words were repetitive. Why are you doing? Why are you doing? Repetitive. So is repetitive by all the speakers. Like is used by all the speakers. You know used by some speakers. Yeah, these are the general words I have the observations. So to minimize these things, again, like the pause is the best way to minimize it, to avoid these filler words. With this, we can improve the quality of the speeches. With this, I will conclude my report. Thank you.
Fantastic job, Toastmaster Ashok. I think, like I said earlier, this is exactly what we would like to see when we get these kind of reports. Adding more value by saying, you know, a pause is something that can really help you reduce these thresholds. So great work done, and also that you were able to recognize and provide that sort of recognition to people who did not have a rush watch. So great job done there. Let's go ahead with the last person of our team that will be the main for today, Toastmaster Pradeep.
I would like to congratulate three speakers who used the word of the day sporadic. That is Dina. Thank you very much. That is 20% of speakers, even though we got an opportunity through table topic to speak, I would recommend each and every speaker to use the word of the day, because the more you use the word of the day, the more better it is. Right? A couple of good words and usages I have captured is one is the old monk, because it was so much good. Choose to be happy, looking at positive, believe yourself, smiling can change response about you, about what you do. Live happy, purest form of happiness, time is precious. Tricks of the trade, where did noise come from? Instead of came from, you can use come from. Learning hard way, watch your back, that's good. I was feeling bad, instead of telling I was feeling bad, we can say I was feeling bad. Happy moments, choose your own path. I failed in several interviews, you can use that way. My parents were really happy. My parents was happy. My parents were really happy. Exciting and interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pradeep, for having given us our fantastic word of the day, acknowledging every time we have used it, and giving us such a fantastic variance report. So moving ahead with the last part, I know Arvind was looking at me at that time. That's my evaluation. So I'm sorry, I got carried away. I was doing speech evaluation, so too many things happened. But don't worry, I saved this for the last course, because I believe the table topics session was carried out fantastically today. And table topics master, right? TTM, the name, table topics master. And I think Arvind over here, you were the master, you had that kind of authority where you were able to change the entire vibe of the meeting by giving out such beautiful, insightful topics, right? Great job. I believe one thing that can be done better the next time, Toastmaster Arvind, is that Now, usually in a setting, you do not have people volunteering to go ahead. So today, our guests, I'm actually so proud of you guys because you volunteered. When the table topics master says, who would like to go first, there's pin drop silence. Nobody wants to raise their hands, nobody wants to say me by mistake. See, that is where the beauty of the role comes in. Your table topics master means you have full authority to say, you come and speak. That's it. There's no ifs and buts. Right? So at that point, you can always first invite somebody who's an experienced Toastmaster. Right? Experienced Toastmaster, somebody who is not taking up a major role. Somebody from the tag team maybe, or someone who's not taking up. Give them more opportunities to speak. I know that today we have everyone who's taking roles, but this is a hierarchy that you can generally follow. So when there's an experienced Toastmaster coming on, doing one table topic, the guests feel comfortable. They know what they're supposed to do. And then you can move with one guest, and then you decide which one of the Toastmasters get to go in the order of time received to speak at. So there's one even distribution for everyone, right? So that is the only thing, and I believe this has been a fantastic session. Something else I think, sir, we should do from next time is, if possible, we should use this board to have the speaker's name and project, or because when I made that mistake, and I said 3 people because I want 3. So during such instances, having a board with references will make it easier for people to know their names.
Yes, sir. We have ordered the stand. I think it should come today, deliver today to my school.
Fantastic. Then from next time, this will happen. That way, this is perfect. So this will be something that we can have, and I think this has been a very successful meeting, Pre-Charter meeting number 8. Thank you so much for the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to be the general evaluator today. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Iman. I think this is a very good general evaluation. It's not, you are not too diplomatic. Yes, when I was go out, I think I need something I need to definitely learn from you, because I was doing this mistake a couple of times for giving intro from my heart what I know, but it's a great takeaway. I think definitely I need to intro what they also want to know how others. Thank you very much. This is that I think now guests understand what is the general evaluation, so how it really helps your Toastmaster journey. So thank you very much. Take away of the next. So yeah, with that, I think we are now closing the meeting. So before that, about that happiness. So happiness is completely from our heart. Whatever your own way, be happy. We make others happy. It's very difficult. Make everybody happy. Do whatever you feel is you are comfortable. Make it yourself will be happy. So before I will hand over to the stage to Pradeep. So we will looking forward each and everybody cooperation for next couple of meetings also. So thank you very much. Thank you for
I would like to be sorry that I couldn't introduce our divisional director, Modi Pandya-Rajan sir. I'm sorry for that. And thanks for bringing it out. So next time I'll see that I'll be prepared. This is the first time I'm taking the PO role. So I was on a hot seat and did not prepare much. So thanks for the insight. Secondly, about the introduction, I'll go ahead and create a drive in the Google Drive. We'll have the intro of each and every person who are almost regular, so that we have it. And anybody wants it, you will just paste it, or we can put it in the WhatsApp group in the main introduction itself. So people can go there and get that link, and intro can be done. That can be solved.
No, I mean, not to cut you short, but just in general, what I'm saying is, now when we have team as happiness, what we do is we'll have some questions set up. So the way Toastmaster Pandya-Rajan had a question in the end, saying, what was something that made you very happy last week? So you can text people these questions one day before the meeting, you get answers, introduce them on stage. That's it. Yeah.
We'll take that into
consideration.
Thank you. And even the stand, next time when you come in the next meeting, the stand will be ready along with speaker's name and everything. I'll see that I'll come 5 to 10 minutes early and we'll write it down. Any of us can take that intro. And thanks each one of us for attending this meeting and making a grand success, because everything begins with a small thing. Just like Bill Gates, Michael Dell, all these guys, they started in a small garage, small place, right? So in the same way, today we are here, Nagarbhavi Toastmasters Club, and tomorrow we are going to be one of the world's best. That's what I always listen from my mentor, Robin Sharma. He says, you need to be world class. I'm taking his online courses, and he always says, wherever you are, just try to give others and make that place world class. That's when you'll be recognized and known all over. So I thank you, each one of you, the guests, the Toastmasters, and also the future Toastmasters who have joined here for this Nagarbhavi Toastmasters meeting. And keep coming regularly. We meet here every Sunday, 10:30 a.m., maybe around the 90 minutes to 2 hours. So that will be a great moment to learn many things from the leaders over here, right? So with this, I adjourn the meeting for today. That is Pre-Charter Meeting 8. Thank you very much. Yes, anybody can take a role. I mean, say, want to volunteer to take any roles for next week? I'll be doing my speech next week. So are there any others? Yeah, any backups, or you can come forward, the G role, or maybe somebody else can take. Anybody is interested?
Till Monday, I will come home.
Monday, okay. Monday, any?
I'll post it in the.
Fine. And maybe who has still not come over here, you can pass on the information to them also. In case if they're interested for any role, all roles are open. And it's better to take a different role so that you master different roles, and due time of emergency, like Toastmaster Raymond P.S. put himself in that shoes and helped us at this time, taking all the maximum roles.
I think you close. I think we can discuss now. Or can you stop the
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think now,